And all who thirst will thirst no more. And all who search will find what this.
It all comes from a quiet time I had one day reading about the woman at the well. She comes to a well looking for earthly water. Jesus comes to the well to talk to this woman about Jesus' water, and she's not getting it. She's not picking it up. I mean, anytime you listen to stories, he's talking about the bread of life. They're still talking about bread. He's talking about being born again. Nicodemus is like, how do you get born again? You know, and he's making it as plain as he can, but they can't see past here. You know, instead of looking up, we just look around and try to compare it to something. And she's looking for some sort of source. You know, he brings out she's been married so many times. She's tried relationships to fill her, and it's not working. And he says to her, you know, if you keep drinking this water, you're just going to be thirsty again. But if you let me give you water, you won't be thirsty again. As a matter of fact, you won't just be quenched, but you will also be a fountain yourself of living water. And she's trying to figure out what he means. And it's like she's standing by a well talking to a man, but in reality, she's standing by a hole in the ground and she's talking to the well. So what she thought was a source is a hole that's going to drain her. And that just rang true with me. And I thought, man, when I walk into church on Sunday, I got my well already. I've got it all figured out. I just need Jesus to bless it. That's all. This is what's going to complete me, God. If you can just sprinkle a little something on this, we'll all be fine. You think about that Peter, when Jesus said, hey, cast your nets on the other side and you'll catch fish. And he goes, okay, and he tries it. And he has the biggest payday of his career. That's huge. In my day and time, what would we do? Jesus, why don't you meet me here again tomorrow about the same time, right? You and me, we'll do this together. Jesus and Peter fishing. It'll be awesome. It'll be great, you know? And that's what we think, because we think, this is the source. I got my source. Just bless my source. And what Jesus is saying is, that's going to leave you thirsty. If you think your spouse is going to complete you, you're going to be thirsty, because they're not created to do that. Jesus is created to complete. Jesus is who completes us. You pour into your spouse. Your career, it's going to run dry sooner or later. You got to draw from him. You know, people's opinion, you're not going to be everybody's best friend for long. You can't draw from people. You can't draw from your talent. You can't draw from skills. You got to draw from him. And I believe this record are stories and testimonies of what happens when we try to draw from something else versus drawing from him.